Hey, yo, what's up? What's up? Welcome to the recap of our trading day today. Today we had some good trades. We had some trades that were kind of in between, right? But we like to keep it transparent. Today we didn't make any money. We actually took an L, but we're still up. We're still balanced for the week. But the biggest L that we took today ended up being um, on Spy. Spy had reversed on us, and so we're gonna get into that today. Today we're also gonna chop it up. I'm gonna talk about uh, what setup I took, why I entered that setup, and then why I exited. Right, and then we'll kind of talk about some mindset shift things to balance things out. So let's get into it. I'm gonna pull up the Spy chart here. Actually, already had charted it out for us, so we can kind of get to the meat and potatoes. I know it's a little late in the evening for some. All right, let's look at this. All right, you see, I got it nice and laid out here. Let's look at this. So tap in. What I ended up doing here is I entered. I saw this momentum on the spy, and so what we call this the average daily range. So this is a trading range, and I use a couple of different indicators. One of my favorites is key levels by Kia Keeley, and so it starts to chart out the range that we're in, right? Saying, hey, this is the range that we're creating for the day. And then by 10:30, it'll solidify that opening range. It's called the opening range. Uh, and so when you open that range up, it's saying here, if it breaks this level, it's looking for a breakout. So the truth is I found a successful setup, right? I entered here at 10:30 for this options trade, and then I exited here at 12:40. But the truth is due to what I had to accomplish today. Today, I'll be transparent with y'all. I had to go get my real ID done. I'm gonna be doing some traveling this summer with me and my daughter, so I had to get my ID done. The truth is being a disciplined trader, I should have stayed out of the market until either after my business was done or until I found a full blown out outstanding setup. And so for me here, the setup that I ended up finding, it was a good setup. We had a good entry. It exited the opening range right here. Boom, 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 bam. We made some profit. This is when I should have got out and stayed out. It was at 12:40 at that time. So at 12:40, I ended up getting out. Great exit. Great strategy right there. Take it all day, every day. Small profit is good profit. I know a lot of people look for bigger candles, um, and to so they can maximize their profits. But at the same time, not having a loss is a win. So we got to look at it that way. And then we go over here. This is where I started making mistakes. I started to get sloppy. I started to get undisciplined. Right. I noticed this candle right here at the 12:45 mark. It kept going up. So I'm thinking, hey, this bad boy's gonna keep riding out. Yeah, it goes. It goes two outside candle, two outside candle, two outside up candle, and so I'm thinking, hey, we about to go. But the truth is that's if we look at zoom in, and we're trading based off of the strat. And so if we look at this, I can actually move this circle out of the way here. If we move this circle here and move this one out the way, when I actually entered here, it was a two. It was a two up, two two, two up, and then it was a two down. So it reversed. I should have looked for the two two two, and then a potential reversal. But either way, in the market, you got to know what you're looking at. It could reverse on you, and then that's when you set your stop loss. The cool part is I had a trailing stop. So every time this would go up, 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 I have my trailing stop here for this exit. So when this would go up, I would just raise up my trailing stop. So say my contract was worth $1.80. When it went to $2 and it was worth $2. I'll raise it up. I'll raise up my stop loss to where I only lose $1.80. Right. Then I continue to raise that up, and then when it hit, I think it hit like 210 here, and it stopped, and it decided that it was going to reverse. That's when I was able to take that profit. Right. So that ended up happening here. It started to stutter, kind of try to reach back and kind of create an inside candle to this one, and then that's when I got stopped out. So that was great. That was positive. But these right here were knucklehead moves. To be honest, it was a 0-day trade on the spot. And so with a 0-day trade, I should have gotten out way earlier. I should have gotten out. It's going up. I entered here. I should have definitely had my stop here because it's at this time it was 1 p.m., roughly 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I only had a couple hours left in the trading day. So on a 0-day trade, you never want to stay in typically past 1. And so you got to start thinking about like your exit strategy. And had I gotten out here, I would have had a profit. But instead, I was being a knucklehead thinking it was going to rebound because of all this momentum today, right? I was chasing the trade. And so what happened was it ended up dipping. Smart move would have got out here. Could have saved 50%. Dipping. I end up only getting out with 25% of that trade left, and that was like a 75% loss right there. And so I end up exiting here. Here's the crazy part: as soon as I decided to exit, and I shouldn't have been in this anyway. We don't chase them; we replace them. We find another setup. We don't stick around. But in this case, I decided to chase. Get stopped out here and it reversed here. The danger here, though, is the market closes at 3 p.m. CST, right? 4 p.m. EST. So had I stayed in there, my contract would have expired worthless and I would have lost all my money. But I ended up with 25% of what I put in that trade. So not too good of a trade. We did really, really well earlier. I probably should have stayed in here. And when I got out, there was fear of potential loss here, right? But if I would have stayed in here, I could have rolled that up even more, ended up with positive, and never had to enter here. So let's look at our second trade of the day. And this second trade of the day is Palantir. And I'll pull up. Let's go see what time I entered Palantir. I entered Palantir at 9:49 and exited at 9:51. So let's go to the 1 minute time frame. Yep, here we are. So I entered 9:45. Here's the crazy part: is I shouldn't have entered Palantir at all. The reason why I entered Palantir is because of this big green candle right here. On the 10-minute, that was one hell of a green candle earlier this morning. Let's get to my day here. Yeah, so we had this huge green candle. I said what 9:45 roughly. I got in. We had all this volume, all this momentum up, and then we had this candle to the upside. And so I got excited about that candle to the upside and just decided to hop in that trade, which ended up being pretty disastrous for me. Actually, I won't call it a disaster. It was just an unrealistic move. I shouldn't have entered this trade until this day, like this range started to solidify itself. And like we talked about by 10, things will start to solidify itself. The open range breakout will it'll start to set itself up. So here's the range that it needed to break out of. And so if we look at it right here, a smarter move instead of going 945. See what I did was I got it at 940, roughly 945, got out at 950 because it started to shift. So I started to pucker there, like, oh my goodness, this is going down when I shouldn't have entered the trade until it exited this range. This would have been a smarter entry right here. It's still not quite the structure that we want because I'm typically looking for a 2-2-2, a 2 to the upside, and then potential pushing up, right? And then potentially we push to hit this target right here, this resistance level right here, or this resistance level right here, which helps out exponentially. But instead, I got in, got out a little scared, and then that pucker factor settled in, and then we took a minor loss there. So nothing too major, but when we're trading, we want to look for the right setups, right? So thanks for tapping in with me, to check out this review. Some other things that I want to talk about is, not chasing the hype, right? Palantir is a very exciting stock, but there are thousands of stocks out there that I could have tapped into that were doing pretty well. I could have continued to maintain and run with that SPY call and made a lot of profit there, right? So that could have been huge. And then make sure you're sticking to your plan, right? When you stick to your plan, you don't have to shift. You don't have to say, hey, I wish I would have made this decision. I wish I would have made that decision. You could just continue, running the play, right? Don't cut back. Sometimes you just run through the linebacker and say, hey, we're going to run with it or we're not going to run with it. But also make sure you set a stop loss so you end up with some type of profit. So tools and resources that I'm learning from, I'm tapping in with Kia Keeley, Teach Trade. If you decide to DM me, you send me a message with your email, I can tap you into some of those groups. They do cost per month, but at the same time, they're well worth it. And I've been learning a lot in the stock market. And so, to round this out, I want to ask you guys what your biggest trading win or lesson is, or what lessons you guys are going through right now. If you're not into trading, if you like to be in trading, what questions you have, hey, drop the comment, in the comment box, holler at me, and then I'll let you know, where we're going next. But hit the subscribe button if you're building your own shift, right? The shift is all about shifting mindset, shifting culture in your life. Whatever shift that you want to make and how we can help you become very, very successful with that shift. And so whether it's trading, fitness, or freedom, we want you to have it all. So continue to tap in with me. I'll see you guys tomorrow on the live stream. We'll be checking out some different setups that we'll be talking through with the Opulent Trading Collective with iCurly K, or we'll be talking about some of the trades that they're talking about on Teach Trade with Kia Keeley. So I appreciate y'all tapping in, but I wanted to do an after action review with y'all to show y'all the raw truths behind trading. Some days you win, some days you lose, but you can always mitigate that risk through learning, being responsible, and not putting too much into any trade at one time. So like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you guys. Hungry Millennial out.